NHL best bets for Monday, March 30th. Welcome in, guys. WagerTalk TV, PuckTime. Let's make some money on the ice with a handful of great games, sides, totals, props. We're going to take a look at some maybe future boards or teams we think might make or miss. We'll see if we end up getting into that. We always talk about the standings this time of year in the NHL. Just the two of us today, myself and Carmine Bianco. Carmine probably feeling a little bit fatigued after a fun time with Johnny, and I'm feeling a little fatigued after a weekend of moving, and we're all settled in to the new place. Also settled in to a big run, 8-0 run in the NHL. Number 9 hopefully goes tonight. We'll get more into that a little bit later in the show. Carm, how are you, man? Good morning.
Nice run there, man. 8-0. I'm good. Little tired. Friday and Saturday in in Buffalo, went to watch the Sabres and Red Wings game. Our seats were phenomenal seats, right behind the net, but in like a table setting, so not even in the stands. It's a really good venue, really good seats, really good food and drinks, and not so great a result for the Buffalo Sabres, and more so for the Detroit Sabres get a win the next day. Yesterday, man, I got up, like the aging fruit or a banana. You just watch the stages of a banana. It's nice and yellow, it's ripe, and then by the end of the week, it is brown. That was my day yesterday. It just started great and then just got progressively worse. It was just, let me get by the Rangers beating Florida, and then I really like my last 3 plays of the day, and then the Rangers win, and then everything just sort of went downhill because the Columbus Blue Jackets can't hold on to a 3-0 lead in the third period, and I didn't have Columbus. I had the under. So there were so many ways I could still win. The Bruins get a power play goal with 11 seconds left, and to tie it up, send it to OT, and I just turned the TV off and didn't want to watch any more sports after that, Andrew. Those are the ones where sometimes you get the bounces, and then sometimes they go against you, and you just you get so sour. But a lot of news, the races with 16 or 17 days left. The races it is unbelievable. We're going to talk about the Eastern Conference race in a second, but the big news of the weekend, my man is back. He's coaching. John Tortorella, the human interview highlight reel, is back. Bruce Cassidy gone as the Vegas Golden Knights coach, Andrew, and it is while there's like 8 games left for Vegas, I think it is. What a smart move. It might be a late move, but it's a smart move. You know why, right?
What are you thinking?
Well, I think it's a smart move because you change the coach when you probably have an upcoming schedule that is completely winnable. And you look at it and you look at it and you see, okay, well, they got the Vancouver Canucks tonight, a team that's lost 5 games in a row, allowed 25 goals across those 5 games. Then they play the Calgary Flames, a team that is second last in the Western Conference, just ahead of Vancouver. Then they play at Edmonton. That's probably the bogey of them all, but you should start the John Tortorella coaching era with 2 wins. Then you play the Vancouver Canucks again. So you win 3 out of 4 games. Let's say, hypothetical, that they lose against Edmonton and they beat the teams they're supposed to beat. Now, all of a sudden, it looks like a fantastic coaching move that you brought in a coach who inspired the team, when in essence, he just beat 3 teams. He won 3 games against 2 teams that are very bad, and they're back and feeling good about themselves. But they have a tough schedule. The last 4 games are against the Seattle Kraken, who have 2 games in hand, are 5 points back of Vegas, and those are 2 crucial games. They have to play Colorado and they have to play Winnipeg, and Winnipeg is right smack dab in the playoff hunt as well too, with Nashville losing 3 straight. So smart play, but it is crucial for them to win at least 3 of the next 4 games. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, well, to your point, Carm, I always find it funny when a team will fire their coach, as you said, when they have a favorable schedule coming up, because it's like, I think you could be behind the bench, Carm, and coach Vegas to a Vancouver win, or against a Vancouver Canucks. It doesn't really take the coach of the year to beat the Vancouver Canucks right now. Just ask the Calgary Flames. They got the job done rather easily against the Vancouver Canucks. So, the comment section is loving it right now. Habs Relic says the craziest thing I've seen in 50 years. Golfing Stars fan says Marner just announced his retirement. Let's switch to a different system. Swapped one defensive coach for another one who parks the bus. I didn't really realize this, Carm, but apparently Bruce Cassidy was more of a hard ass than I really thought he was. Like, apparently, even going back to last year or at certain points, maybe he had lost the room a little bit. And, somebody tweeted at me yesterday asking, hey, look, explain to me what the heck is the deal with this? And this is more common than people think. We see this more often than people really think. And it all goes to your good friend momentum, Carm. Momentum is all it takes. And they're in a playoff spot. There's 8 games to go, as Habs Relic is talking about. But as you and I have talked about, and Brian has mentioned as well, the Pacific Division has been awful. So how good would they have been this year if they were in the East Conference, or if they were in a different division, the Central Division, right? Where would they be? So I just figured I'd read this out before you and I dive into the games, and you got some great games set up for us today. But Bruce Cassidy's tenure in Las Vegas, 178, 99, and 43 record, with the 5th best record in the NHL during that span. 24 playoff wins, 4th most in that span, 2 Pacific Division titles, and 1 Stanley Cup. Carm, if you told someone that, and then you told them that coach just got fired, you might not believe them. And then here's something kind of interesting. And then you talked about the great schedule they have, and maybe that's a good thing. This is from Sin Bin Vegas, talking about when a coach gets fired, the team will wake up. And I love that theory, but listen to this. This is Tortorella's first 10 games with the new team he coached. Philadelphia 5-5, Columbus 2-8, Vancouver 5-4-1, New York 6-3-1, Tampa 1-9, New York 0-3-1. The first couple games for them combined for 19, 32, and 2. So it seems like they're going from one old-fashioned coach to another old-fashioned coach here, Carm.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think Tortorella's coming in with 8 games left in the NHL season and getting to play a new system. I think he's just going to be a different voice in the dressing room, one that is going to reaffirm with the players that, listen, you guys in this dressing room have a ton of talent. Let's put it together and make a run. He's not going to change the system. Nobody changes the system with 8 games left. So I know that some people are thinking he's going to change the system. He's not. He's just going to try and get the best out of this team that he can. It's a calculated risk. It really is, because at the end of the day, Aiden Hill and Akira Schmid didn't do Bruce Cassidy any favors, but the way that they're playing. So a coach can only do so much if your goaltenders aren't doing it for you. Case in point, you have Connor McDavid, you have Leon Draisaitl, you have Bouchard, you have a very good team, but you also have, and we're talking about like last year, the year before, Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard. It's, if your goalies don't get it done for you, and the goalies have to stand on their head sometimes, then you are in trouble. And to go off on a bit of a tangent, you look at the Carolina Hurricanes yesterday, a team that played extremely well. Were all over the Montreal Canadiens, but you know what they couldn't do? They could not solve your man there. How do we pronounce his last name again, Andrew?
Dobish.
Phenomenal. They have 2 rookie goaltenders in him and Fowler who are playing great hockey. And when your goalies are playing well in front of you, it gives the team in front of you that much more confidence. So that's what's hurt the Vegas Golden Knights. Their goaltending this year hasn't been the same, Andrew. So, but with that said, let's talk about tonight's game. Yes, we are going to talk about a team that is minus 358 because of this. So, Andrew, there's got to be a different way of playing this one. And I know that sometimes one of the biggest mistakes you can make as a capper is trying to find a play within a game instead of just passing on it completely. Now, you have to pass on the money line. You have to. You can't be even if they were to win this game 9 out of 10 times, you cannot be taking minus 358. I don't see it how you could take it. What about a first period play? Do I minus a half plus 102 on Vegas? If you figure they're going to come out for their new coach and play extremely well, is that the play?
I don't see why not. The funny thing is, Carm, you look at this Vancouver Canucks team and just look at their recent efforts they've had. They give up 6 against the Lightning, 3 against the Blues. The Blues shut them down. 5 against the Ducks, 4-0 shutout loss against the Kings, and a 7-3 loss against the Calgary Flames. You know it's bad when the Calgary Flames are beating you 7-3. That's the Calgary Flames. They're not a very good team. So that tells you all you have to know about what's going on with this Vancouver Canucks team. So, Carm, I used to say to you, well, I feel like I'm a little bit late to the trend, or, maybe this is going to be a bounce back spot. Forget about that. This is a team that's awful. They're giving up goals against everybody. I think the best way to go about this game is to just look at that first period, as you mentioned, and you could even look at the first period team total for Vegas and get an even better number at plus 175 for Vegas to get over 1.5 goals in the first period. You're getting a minus 350 money line favorite. The minus a half goal is a pretty good price as well. Or you're going to get Vegas to come out and score 2 goals in the first period at plus 175. The thing is I was looking at this game and I was like, okay, do we go over 1.5 in the first period? Or do we look at this game and say, okay, the Vancouver Canucks just gave up 7 goals. Typically, that's a spot where I like to respect a team's defensive abilities. But there's a problem here, Carm. I don't respect Vancouver's defensive bounce back at all. I don't think they have it in them to bounce back.
Yeah, Andrew, the weird thing with it, and it's something that you always have to take into consideration as far as how quick does the change happen in the dressing room? How quick does the change happen for the Vegas Golden Knights? You know what I mean? I'm just tossing out ideas on the first period with the Golden Knights. But, let's have a look at some numbers also, Andrew, because I think it's important. Last 10 games, because I think Brian's talked about the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights don't always have great starts to their games. Last 10 games, the 2 worst teams in the NHL are, and this is on the straight money line, the Tampa Bay Lightning and then the Vegas Golden Knights. The Tampa Bay Lightning have only led in 2 of their last 10 games, home and away combined. They've trailed 6 times and they've been tied twice. The Vegas Golden Knights have only led twice in 10 games, home and away combined. They've trailed in 7 games and been tied in 1, minus 715 units for the Vegas Golden Knights. And if you want to look a little further, the Vegas Golden Knights, their last 10 games on home ice, they are 3-4-3. Led 3 times, tied 3 times, trailed 4 times. You're minus 2.5 units if you're betting them. And then one more, and that is the Vancouver Canucks. And the Vancouver Canucks, in their last 10 games, the Vancouver Canucks are 2-6-2. 2 leads, 6 times they've trailed, twice they've been tied at the end of 20 minutes on the road. Their last 10 games, fourth worst in the NHL.
That's
So,
bad.
yeah, it's bad.
But
so
the analytics, Carm.
I start with this. I start this whole thing with how about the Vegas Golden Knights in the first period on the puck line, and that's what I talk about. You try and find a play within a number of minus 358 that you think might have some value, but then the analytics tell you it has no value whatsoever.
Well, the thing is the funny, if you were like to play this game on a computer, Vegas hasn't been that bad. Last 5 games, expected goals for Carolina, Philly, Colorado, Minnesota, New York Islanders, Anaheim Ducks, and the Vegas Golden Knights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the entire National Hockey League in expected goals for per game. You know, their numbers right now, 3.33 expected goals for per game. It's kind of like what you just said. Was it Bruce Cassidy's fault that their goalies weren't stopping pucks? Was it Bruce Cassidy's fault the star players weren't scoring goals? And if I go over to the other section here with high danger scoring chances per game, this one's even crazier. It's top 10 for this team. 10 high danger scoring chances per game for the Vegas Golden Knights, and they're putting up the poor numbers they do. So I'm going to go back to what you already said, Carm, and I'm going to just reiterate it. When this team goes on a couple game winning streak and people start to say, oh, Tortorella this, Tortorella that, let's not forget about the teams they're about to play with the upcoming schedule.
Yep. We've said Tortorella so many times that I'm now thinking of the Italian pasta tortellini and thinking I'm going to have that for lunch after the show with some nice arrabbiata sauce, which is arrabbiata sauce, Andrew. If you don't know, it is spicy Italian sauce. That sounds pretty good to get my day going, because I can't wait till like 11 o'clock or whatever time the Vegas game starts. I actually, Andrew, completely missed out at the beginning of the show. You know, the one positive of the trip to Buffalo? We found a couple nice pubs. Southern Tier was one of them. I won $400 on Powerball. I got 3 numbers in the Powerball bonus with the multiplier, 4X multiplier. So I won 400 US, which means I have to go back to the States in order to collect my $400.
Yeah, it's a good excuse to go home. Go back. Good excuse.
I also watched the lady walk into the dollar store with 2 bags, fill it up with all cleaning supplies, and then rush out of the door and not pay for anything. So it is staff at any location right now doesn't stop you from doing anything. So,
well, Carm, I used to work at the as you talk about the LCBO, we have it called NSLC where I live, and you weren't allowed to do anything when you saw people leaving with stuff. So like you would just see it happen and like in front of you, we're like, hey, you can't take that wine bottle. And what am I going to do? I was a college student. I'm not getting paid enough to chase some guy down for some couple bottles of wine or a beer or vodka. And then the funny thing is there was another store that was down the road from where I worked. So if we ended up catching someone before they did it, we would call the other store and say, hey, just so you know, there's probably going to be someone coming down to try and rob you guys too. And then they would call us 20 minutes later and say, yep, you're right. They tried to do it to us. And as a worker, you can't do anything about it.
No, well, because the store has liability. They don't want the employees getting injured and then suing the company for getting injured. Yeah. So they just say, let them steal it. It's the cost of doing business. But I just saw a video this weekend, and we're going to get back to hockey. I saw it actually this morning of the newest thing is robbing jewelry stores in malls. Well, this one guy's robbed the jewelry store, and he's running. One guy grabs his friend and is holding him to the ground while he continues to run. And another guy steps out of like nowhere and clotheslines the guy, and he went down like a gummy bear. He's just on the ground. And you're like, is that guy dead? And it's just, yep, there you go. You know what I mean? People are starting to get sick of what is happening in the world nowadays. You know what's happening, Andrew? The race in the Eastern Conference. Before we get to our second game, look at this, boys. Look at this. This is 5th through 12th. Boston Bruins, 92 points. The New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins, who we're going to talk about shortly, 99 and 98 points. They could flip positions at the end of tonight's game if it becomes a game that Pittsburgh wins in regulation and not in overtime. Columbus, right there, 88 points. Detroit Red Wings, Ottawa Senators, Philadelphia Flyers, all there, 86 points. And even the Washington Capitals on the outside looking in, but 5 points back, Andrew. How's this going to shake out? Because I wrote off Washington and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Boston. I think I wrote off 4 of those teams about a month ago, and they're all there. So don't listen to me.
Well, what it really goes to show is that these teams that are really good, they have to be good for a long time. Like you cannot, like the Ottawa Senators being one of the best teams in 2026 is something we can't ignore. You know, you look at some of these teams that have really turned it on. It's extremely impressive. And, you know, it just goes to show how big one singular game is. And Carm, I mentioned this to Brian, I believe, on Friday, and I want your thoughts on this because I would love to, I don't think there's really a way we could track this, but I would love to figure out exactly what the total over-under has been with playoff teams compared to non-playoff teams with the past couple weeks of the season. Because I think when you look right now at these teams that are out of the playoffs, they're in a lot of high-scoring games. It's kind of like what, you know, we used to say last year. They're not blocking as many shots. You don't care as much, you know. But the teams that are going towards the playoffs, every single minute you're out there on the ice matters. And one thing that is a big problem, I was talking to a good friend Jeff about this, and he said that teams are waiting for overtime too much, Carm. If the game is 2-2 and there's 8 minutes to go in the game, these teams should not be able to just sign a contract agreement and say, hey, let's go get 1 point each and let's go off to overtime. I don't think that's really fair. And that's actually right now a problem in the NHL that I think needs to be dealt with.
That's where I'm going to disagree with you, Andrew. And I'll tell you why I disagree with you, because I look at it like any other sport. I mean, we have these discussions during NFL season in week 17 and week 18 where you get teams or players or coaches who are in a playoff battle saying, look at KC resting their players in week 18. And they're playing Denver, and we need Denver to lose. If you took care of business all year, you wouldn't need Denver to lose in week 18 of the NHL of the NFL.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Why should KC put their players at risk? So by the same token, and a thinner stretch, I'm going a thinner stretch. If some of these other teams took care of business when they needed to, won games in regulation instead of getting loser points in OT, they would not be in the positions that they are right now, and they in a much better spot. You know, I saw the argument of, you know, look at this team that's outside of the playoffs and they have more regulation wins than the team that is second or third in the NHL playoffs right now. And it is because the team that's in second got to OT a lot more and won games.
Yeah.
And then they picked up points. So my point is always going to be,
though.
if you take care of your own business. Yeah.
No, but just hear me out. Hear me out for a sec. It's the teams that are playing each other like in the moment. I don't care about I completely agree with your take on that. It's your problem when you put yourself in that position. What I'm saying is that the teams that we have playing tonight, these two teams, the game is so important to both of them that if there's 5 minutes to go in the game, you got to think that they're both going to be happy to go to overtime and get 1 point. That's what I'm saying, is that I agree with you. What other teams do is none of your business. But what these two teams do together, and as sports bettors, we should be able to take advantage of it. But I think right now that some of these teams that are so desperate, it's kind of hurting the product, in my opinion, because they literally stopped trying to score goals with 5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah. No, well, from a betting perspective, it's definitely tough. Listen, I get it. From a fan's perspective, if I'm a Red Wings fan and with 5 minutes left, they lock it down because they want to pick up at least 1 point and possibly 2, and that's going to help them make it into the playoffs. By all means, go ahead and do it. The way in which you play the game is so much different during the last 15 games of the regular season than it is the first 15 or the middle 15, so on and so forth. So,
here's this,
with that said, I don't know. I can't even read that.
Yeah, it's not
Dude,
really.
You're asking a guy, 57-year-old with like I could have cataracts right now. I can't see anything.
Let's see.
I'll have to read that later.
Wait, there we go.
Right.
Anyway, here. If the Penguins win tonight in regulation, they have an 83.3% chance of making the playoffs. If they lose in regulation, 57.2% chance of making the playoffs. For the Islanders, same thing. Win in regulation, 82.9%, 55.6%. If the Penguins win in overtime, 80.7%, and if they lose in overtime, 68.3%. So this is just the biggest game of the night here, Carm. Think about that. You win tonight in reg, 83% chance. You lose tonight in reg, you only have a 57% chance. That's a very big twist.
Yeah, so let's get to it. You look at it, and Andrew, the first thing that surprises you is the New York Islanders only minus 124 at home. And I get it. But Eli Sorokin, the goalie advantage clearly lies with the New York Islanders. Sorokin has been great this season. Stuart Skinner, projected goalie for, I'm seeing Stuart Skinner as a projected goalie. Sorokin is confirmed. So we don't have to worry about that. 247 goals against average, 914 save percentage. The one thing, Andrew, is he's made so many starts and he's played well right now, but so many starts at what point? And that's just because Big Save Dave isn't doing anything for them right now. But at some point, this guy's going to wear down. It is tough because you would hope that they would have a playoff position sewn up by now. And maybe winning tonight in regulation puts them one step further to doing that. But look at his numbers. Last 12 starts, 12 appearances in the Islanders' last 13 games. Hasn't been given much of a rest there. 6-5 record, but a 2.50 goals against average. The guy's been on fire. They have to score goals for him. I don't know where the goals are coming from tonight. I think this is one of those ones, Andrew, like you said. And maybe it's a good segue into it, where the last 6-7 minutes of this game, it's on lockdown. I'm taking the under, even money.
Yeah, Stuart Skinner, last couple games, 857 save percentage, but expected goals against 3.21, goals against average 3.67. But I think that when you look at this matchup, as you mentioned, Carm, Sorokin's been playing a ton, but they have no other option. Yesterday, it ended up being a blessing for me because I was going to take Columbus if it was Korpisalo, and then Boston ended up going with Swayman again. And we're seeing that happen a little bit more where teams are playing the same goalie on back-to-backs or more often. And you've been the one preaching it the most, that the New York Islanders and Carm, maybe that hurts the Islanders come playoff time because they've got the same goalie playing, it feels like 75 games every year. It's going to make you a little bit fatigued. But yeah, looking at the offensive stats right now for these teams, there's not a lot going on as far as the shots on goal per game, mediocre, 26, 27, 28, not reaching that 30 mark. Goals for per game, 2.8 last 10 games for the New York Islanders. We are seeing close to 3.4 for the Penguins. But I do think that a lot of this play has to do with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin. This is such a huge game that you got to think if those two players can play, they're going to get out there and they're going to suit it up. They're going to want to play. When you look at that game over the weekend, though, Carm, I could not believe the Pittsburgh Penguins. That game was last Thursday over the Penguins and the Senators. What a battle that was in a shootout for the Penguins to be able to pull that off. They had a tough one on Saturday, but if we do see Crosby and Malkin back in here, the game that they played on Saturday against Dallas, it's almost like they said, you know what, Sid, you know what, Gino, we don't need you to play in this one. We need you to play in the one on Monday. They lost 6-3. Bad game offense or defensively. You got to think this is going to be a tight checking game here. I'm with you. I like the under, but I am tempted to take the underdog in this one. The only thing is that I worry about this Penguins defense. Part of me deep down inside kind of thinks that the Islanders correlate with the under, the Penguins correlate with the over. It just depends on which version of Stuart Skinner and which version of the Penguins defense we're going to get when it comes to this game. But maybe under, I never usually do this, but what about under 1.5 first period, Carm? We play a lot of the first period overs. What about first period under 1.5?
I don't know. Those are sometimes tough, but I can see it. I can definitely see it here. Skinner might be good very early on, maybe not good later on when they get more shots at him. We're seeing, and the reason why some of these overs are hitting, take a look. If you guys run the numbers, and maybe I'll do this later on in the week, maybe on Wednesday where there's fewer games to discuss, but I'm going to show you the shots on goal per game mid-season and like now. You're seeing some games where a team doesn't register their first shot on goal, Andrew. And I think the Montreal Canadiens yesterday didn't get their first shot on goal until there was about 7 minutes left in the first period. It didn't affect them. They went on to win the game. But we're seeing that a lot where there's just not a lot of shots on the goal happening. Kind of saw that in the Florida and New York Rangers game as well, too. Fewer shots on goal, fewer chances, fewer high danger chances, fewer scoring chances. And if the goalies are playing well, fewer goals. Nobody likes betting unders, but it's the right thing to do unless you got the Columbus one from yesterday and you lose it with 11 seconds left. But I digress. Andrew, the good thing about Sorokin starting tonight, you know what it is?
What is it?
Tomorrow, with Big Save Dave with his 413 goals against average and 968 save percentage in the month of March, is the starting goaltender in Buffalo against the Buffalo Sabres.
That's good news for your Sabres.
Can you feel a Carmine play tomorrow on the Buffalo Sabres? I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Probably a regulation play. It'll probably be low enough, probably about 130, that I don't need to take a regulation play on them. But I'm going to be on the Sabres tomorrow, man.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all. And that goes to show, too, the urgency for how important this game will be. You're playing a division rival. You're playing, your best goaltender. Tomorrow comes when tomorrow comes. You got to worry about today. And a lot of players and coaches have been saying that in interviews right now. Hey, we're not worried about the next game until we play this game right now, the game that's in front of you. But Big Save Dave. And then who is the worst goalie that I can't believe got the win yesterday is Jonas Johansson.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, actually, no, wait. Did they even get the win? I don't even know if they – let's see. They didn't. Yeah, he got the win. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jonas Johansson, 3-2 for Tampa Bay. That goalie is giving up like 4 expected goals a game, it seems like. I'm shocked.
And, it is just I talked about my frustration yesterday, winning my first play of the day, and then everything just went kind of downhill from there. Like even live game betting, I had the over in the Tampa Bay game after the scoreless first period, 5.5. It is 3-2. Empty net, and the Tampa guy skates in all alone. He doesn't shoot on goal. He takes a couple more strides, and then he puts it into the net. 0.1 after the goal, after the the game expired. The puck crossed the line, so the
Oh,
goal
man.
did not count. Just put it into the net. Haig, come on, man, or whoever it was. It is. Listen, we talk about our wins, but I love to vent about the losses, even if they're not client plays and they're just my in-game bets, because it just shows you the reality of sports betting, that a guy who could have put the puck in from the blue line skates to the face-off circle and then puts it in, and he's 0.1 past the clock. It is just. Anyways, Andrew, let's get on to another exciting. Oh, wait. Yeah, go ahead.
Just one guy I forgot to mention who's playing extremely well. I know it's not the prop segment right now, but Erik Karlsson playing extremely well. And there was a play that went viral over the weekend. I don't know if you saw it. One of the players on Dallas grabbed Karlsson's stick, ripped it out of his arms, and kind of threw it away. And you could hear the hot mic of Karlsson saying, "What the hell? You're the worst referee ever. You're the biggest joke in the world." And then Dallas scored. And I'll tell you, whether it's goals, assists, shots on goal right now, Erik Karlsson is turning back the clock for the Ottawa Senators days. He might be someone worth looking at for props when it comes to Islanders versus Penguins tonight.
I wish I would pay a subscription for a channel in which all the players are mic'd up, including the referees.
Yeah, the referees.
And it's not PG-13. It's rated R. You get to hear everything they say on the ice. How epic would that be?
The players would hate that, though, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Who cares? Who cares?
It'd be awesome.
I don't care. You know who does care? These two teams, Andrew, because they're still battling for a playoff spot. Let's get you a better price. 110 both ways this morning when I created this graphic. Total sits here at 6. The Sharks, they look dead in the water. Hey, that's a pretty good analogy or adage. But they're back.
Dad joke. Dad joke.
Yeah, that's a dad joke.
Card.
But no, a dad joke would be, but will the Sharks be singing the blues tonight, Andrew? Give me your thoughts on this game.
Well, they be singing. All right, I'll give you that one. That is probably true. Look, when it comes to this game, I'll just say that this is a Sharks team that was closing in on a playoff position, man. This team looked all right. They looked like a pretty good team. And then they crashed and burned pretty much after February. I would say after the Olympic break, maybe after Macklin Celebrini got back from the Olympics, maybe he was a bit fatigued after that. Not entirely sure when it comes to that, but all I know is this San Jose Sharks team has looked incredibly different. And I'll tell you what, there's one guy that has looked very, very good lately, and his name is Joel Hofer. This guy has been phenomenal. When you look at save percentage versus expected save percentage, Joel Hofer right now plus 8.2%. To give you the context, on this slate right now, the next guy is Alex Nedeljkovic at minus 5.8%. So this guy is plus 8.2%. His expected goals against per game, 2.32. Goals saved above expected, 1.99. He has been phenomenal. If Joel Hofer is in goal tonight, I want to back this team. And the funny thing is, I had a big 5% play on Saturday, Carm, on the Blues, and I had it against the Maple Leafs. Guess who was in goal? Jordan Binnington. So now Joel Hofer is playing well, and he's well rested going into this game. I do like the St. Louis Blues in this matchup, but I'm going to just serve up another under for you. I think this game goes under. Look, Nedeljkovic has, not been very good, but I think the scoring has really slowed down for the San Jose Sharks. So I lean towards the under, but it's kind of crazy when you look at it. I'm looking at last 3 games, advanced metrics for every single goaltender on this slate. The number one goalie save percentage versus expected plays for the Blues, and the worst goalie plays for the San Jose Sharks. Is it really that simple, Carm? You tell me.
Is it really that simple? The under's been pretty good, at least this year. You look at Andrew. I think the last couple of games that these two have played, St. Louis wins in San Jose 3-2 in OT. St. Louis wins in OT again. Why not go with OT? 4 of the last 5 games, Andrew, have gone to overtime between these two teams. Teams that you mentioned. And again, this is another example of it. 1 point for these teams is pretty good. 2 points would be great. You look at it, the Sharks have 3 games in hand on Nashville, who are holding down that last spot. And they're 4 points back of them. So these are like crucial games for them. They're returning home off a 3-game road trip. One of those losses came to the St. Louis team 2-1 away. So I can see the under and why it's at. I'm actually a little surprised why it's at 6 and not 6.5. But as far as the game itself goes, do I think the Sharks can win this one? Yeah, I think they're still smack dab in the middle of this playoff thing. The Blues. They took a bit of a beat and then they reeled off 4 straight wins. So they're right back in there. The one bad thing about the St. Louis Blues, when I look at it, Andrew, is they would be in a playoff spot if they were a better team on the road. I think there's something like 13 or they're 14-22 or something like that on the road this season, 15-22 on the road this season. You got to be a lot better with those splits if you want to be considered a playoff team or be in a playoff spot, and they're just not there right now. So as far as this the game goes for me, I would lean to the Sharks tonight, returning on home ice. Their fans are going to give them a boost, and I think it's a game in which I think they can and should win.
And when you look at this game, do you think this number is weird, Carm, based on the goalies, based on the form for these teams? Like, do you think the number is weird?
Yeah, absolutely. Like this game here, and I'm not sure if anyone can bring up the odds on this one, and I'll see if I can do it real quick, and I do have it here. So would it surprise me? Absolutely. Would it surprise me if this game went to overtime, Andrew? Absolutely not. Like the draw in this one is plus 300 at DK. Would it surprise me if it finished in a tie going into OT? Like I said, not at all. 4 of the last 5 games between these two teams have gone to overtime. The other game was 4-3. And if you want to go back a little further, 5 of the last 6 games have gone to overtime between these two teams. So what's happened in the past does not predict what is going to happen in the future. But both games this season, at the very least, have gone to overtime between these two. I think there's an importance of it. If this game is close or tied late in the game, they're taking fewer chances. Absolutely, these teams are taking fewer chances. Give me my point. Let's go to OT. Let's play 3-on-3 and see if your 3 guys can beat my 3 guys. Would not surprise me at all. But I'm going to take the Sharks, even though the Blues are on a 4-game win streak heading into this. 3 of those wins, I believe, came on the road. They played Washington, Vancouver, and San Jose. I think in 3 of those ones, they're on the road here. They haven't been the best road team. Give me the Sharks.
All right. You know what? Let's see what happens with this game, but I'm going to just lock in the under because I am just a sick person that thinks that San Jose is capable of playing an under because I trust the Blues defense, but we're going to find out if the San Jose Sharks can do it as well. Alex Nedeljkovic, please don't be a tank commander tonight. Please don't be a tank. Please be a goaltender for us. We'll see what happens with this one. This is going to be a good one to follow. And I'm curious. We want you guys to comment below, whether in the live chat or afterwards. Let us know how you guys go about handicapping the last couple weeks of the NHL season. Some teams, and it's exciting, Carm. We've been talking about this for a few weeks together, and it's finally getting closer. Your vacation's getting closer. My vacation's getting closer. The playoffs are almost here, man, and we've got 8 or 9 games left for a lot of these teams. I want to know how everybody in the chat handicaps these games because for me, for the most part, excluding this game, I'm looking at taking unders with playoff teams and overs with non-playoff teams, especially down the stretch. So we'll see what happens here. Carm, I want to bring something up here because I'm pretty fired up about this. We got a good deal coming out for every handicapper soon, but I've got this great promo code for people to use today. This code is NHL50, NHL50 to get the remainder of the NHL season, regular season, plus playoffs. You're pretty much just getting a playoff package and the remainder of the NHL season for free. We are on an 8-0 NHL run. I am hoping that number 9 goes tonight, Monday night in the NHL. But guys, feel free, use the promo code NHL50 at WT.buzz/AM. That's WT.buzz/AM. 5% plays, 4% plays totals. We're on a plus 28 unit run with best bets right now in the NHL. So let's keep it rolling. Guys, as much as we enjoy people coming on board with one play at a time, the best way to go about it, Carm, we always say, is the long-term NHL 50. And this deal will be available for every hockey handicapper this week at WagerTalk.com.
Andrew, phenomenal run. It's very tough to win 8 straight games. You're doing it the way you're supposed to do it. Highlight one game that you really like and go there. Just keep on winning, man. Doing a phenomenal job. And I'm definitely looking forward to these last 2 weeks. I want to have a big week this week, bounce back a little bit and to get things going. Tomorrow, my mental state, Andrew, is going to be a little fragile, as will be. We got to get back to hockey here for a same game parlay and the pod play, but it's going to be a little fragile. And if you guys know why, if you know, it is the Italian team playing tomorrow against Bosnia for spot in the World Cup. 2:45 Eastern time. Italy plays at Bosnia. They are favorites. I'm going to be recording a couple of free play videos that will be up on the website tonight. I'm going to do the Italy-Bosnia game that is being played tomorrow and the Czech versus Denmark game and a couple of free plays, and you'll find them on the website a little later on today. I'll be a little if Italy was to miss the World Cup three straight tournaments, they might burn down Rome. I don't know what's going to happen, Andrew. But with that said, I'm going to go to you for your same game parlay.
Let's do it, Carm. We got the same game parlay here today. We got a desperate Colorado team that's not too happy right now, feeling very motivated. When you got a motivated Colorado team, you look to nobody but the dog, Nathan McInnis. 5+ shots on goal. It's a lot to ask, but 5+ shots on goal. Carm, it's even money, plus 100 for this guy to get 5 shots. It's shocking. Arturi Lehkonen, he's back in action. He's healthy. He's on the first line. He's ready to roll for a point for us today. And Marty Necas, we're going to go with 1 assist. He's known for his goal scoring, known for his flash, but he's a great assist guy as well. Great playmaker out there on the power plays. Marty Necas, 1 assist. Carm, let's start the week off with a 4% best bet tonight, WT.buzz/AM. Win 9 straight games and hit a plus 435 same game parlay. And yeah, you can see I didn't include one single Flames player. That's for a reason. We'll go with the Avalanche, 3 picks plus 435. Not a bad price there.
Yeah, that's 435. I like that, man. Cash it. Come on, man. We need the dough. A couple little nuggets before I get into my pod play, and then we close it off. I have now, for the people who bought my my World Cup package to get all the plays during the World Cup, the private Discord channel, this old timer has finally figured out how to set it all up. It's all set up. The office will be sending out emails to anyone who has that who has that World Cup package that you purchased. You'll get an invite into the group. I'm keeping it private because I'm going to be posting in-game wagers, late-breaking news, or anything like that. And I want it. It's obviously going to go to clients who purchase the package. I still will be tweeting out some free plays as well too. So I'm not discriminating against anyone, but I want to take care of the clients that take care of us as well too, Andrew. And then what's number 2? We are going to be doing a NHL playoff survivor on Splash Sports. Kelly told me that it can be done. It will be set up, and I will have news before the week is over, so you guys can sign up at Splash Sports if it is legal in your state. I think it's in most states in the U.S. Splash Sports, and we'll give away some good prizes as well too. With that said, Andrew, it is time for a pod play, and this is one that I kind of like. So, because you talked about goals, and in the first period, can it be over? Can it be under? In a game that I like the under, I am taking the over on the pod play, and I'll explain why. The Pens' last 10 games away, they have gone over the first period total in 7 of 10 games. The Islanders' last 10 games at home, they have gone over the first period total in 8 of 10 games. Those are 2 positive numbers, 2 profitable numbers over the last 10 games, which is a strong sample size and current sample size. So I am going over the first period between these 2 teams. They've played twice this year. The Pens win 4-3 at home, 2 goals in the first period. Islanders win 5-4 at home, 3 goals in the first period. Let's keep that trend going. Over first period, minus 1.5, or 1.5 goals, minus 125. That's your pod play.
First period over 1.5. And Carm, the more I think about it, the more I think like those games that start to settle down, they settle down in the third period. It's not the first period where they settle down. So I like it, man. I hope you have a great night. Carm, soccer plays and hockey plays. Guys, if you're not playing Carmine's hockey, you're missing out. But especially he is dialed in. He is locked in, ready to rock with the soccer. And Carm, I don't want to speak for you, but I'll just say this. We talk about long-term, and this isn't even a sales pitch. If you're going to be playing soccer, you're going to be playing the World Cup qualifiers, get the full tournament package, guys. Carmine's your guy. Ride with him the whole way through. I don't think soccer is a sport you want to pick and choose your spots when to jump in. You're going to crush it, Carm, but you don't want to have one game here, one game there. People should be in for the whole entire tournament. That's the way to go. And Carmine is your guy. So do you still have that special up for hockey and soccer?
No, but I'm going to see if Melissa can get that up a little later on today as well to get the rest of the NHL through the Stanley Cup and the World Cup of Soccer. Or you can just email Melissa at the office at I think it's support@wagertalk.com and ask for the deal, and she will set it up for you. Listen, I'm looking forward to it. The last 2 World Cups, number 1 at WagerTalk, with World Cup plays in each of those, the 2018 and the 2022, and some future bets going up soon after, obviously, tomorrow's games, and where all the true odds will be out. Andrew, I'm looking forward to it. It is great each and every year. I'm going to be at games. Everyone becomes an expert, I say, when the World Cup rolls around. But if someone can't name more than 3 players on a team, are they really an expert? That's all I'm going to say.
That is for sure. And you are my guy, Carm, for the games, and I can't wait to follow along and cheer for it. I'll be cheering for Canada, and I'll be cheering for Italy because of you and some friends as well. Carm, we good to go? That's it for the show here for Monday. Guys, once again, I'm fired up for today. We got the big play, 8-0 NHL run. Forget about the one play. Get the full rest of the season special. NHL 50 is the promo code to use. NHL 50, $199 for every single play. Rest of the regular season, first round, second round, third round, Stanley Cup Finals in this one package. Hopefully, winner number 9 goes tonight at wt.buzz /AM. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button on the way out. We'll see you next time here on Puck Time.